My name's Sunday Justice. I'm an agriculture engineer and a nutritionist. We developed this science called Acquaponic Technology in our research, looking at the problem of our society where we have a challenge of land shortage. And there is a high demand of vegetables. And there is a big problem of malnutrition. So this technology is the answer to those challenges. And especially when it comes to children. Here we grow and rear mudfish. Mudfish, like any other fish, is a rich source of protein, particularly to fight kwashiorkor among children. So, and this is a simple technology one can use to grow and rear fish at home, upland. Traditionally, most of the people believe when you are in fish farming, you must be having a swamp. When you talk of fish farming, people look at themselves, check back home, looking at if there is a possibility of a water body or a swamp. But with this technology, we entirely look at how one can rear fish upland, in the compound, even inside the house where you are living, and you rear their fish. But in this technology in particular, which is called aquaponic, we are looking at rearing mudfish in a small piece of land, then use the waste material from fish and waste feed in the pond to feed plants as a fertilizer. In so doing, we are doing what we call organic farming. So this is what we are practicing here. We don't spray with chemicals. We make organic pesticide. In organic pesticides, we use neem, we use tobacco, we use red pepper, we use soap. Then the soap has the hydroxide solution which works on killing the fungal infections on the plants. And because the temperature is very high, then the aggressive pests cannot enter in here. So we spray and we come up with organic tomatoes. So this technology of greenhouse is just requires some science, which we actually call upon the youth today to embrace. If they could embrace this form of technology, the youth could solve the problem of unemployment. Because this pond alone, here, inside here, we have 6 ponds. But one pond, we stock 20,000 fish flies of mudfish. The mudfish is the type of fish which fishermen use to catch Nile perch. These big Nile perch you see are caught by use of hooks, not nets. And on those hooks, they have to put there a living fish. And the living fish has to be a mudfish. So most of the places like in Kenya and Tanzania, swamps have dried up. People flock to western Uganda where we still have some fresh waters and fresh and stocked swamps naturally. So these people who buy that mudfish have a particular size they would want to buy. But when they are practicing, those people who extracted the mudfish from the swamps, they just scoop off everything living, including the young ones. And so when we go to their collecting centers, we find them stuck with the young ones there. Then we get them from them at a cheap price, of course. Then we bring them here and then rear them. And we formulate feeds using cooked food. We formulate fish feeds using cooked starch because the alimentary canal of a fish is shorter than those of the birds and animals or ruminants. So we prepare the food of the mudfish by steaming it. We can use sweet potatoes. We can use bananas as source of starch. Then we use proteins. The proteins we use the soybean and maggots. You will see the maggots. We rear black soldier flies. We have the garden here. where we rear the maggot, the black soldier flies to give us maggots, which we use in the fish. So in the course of making feeds, we can train someone how to manufacture the feed at home and using the kitchen refuse or what one can grow on your farm itself, such that the whole technology is done at home without financial constraint. Now we stock 20,000 flies. Flies, I mean the young fish. And when they mature in 4 months, we sell each at 500 shillings. So the 20,000, we can fetch 10 million. Now, like when we have these 6 ponds in this area of 30 feet by 60, we can harvest 60 million. Now, if it was to be a group of youth doing such a project, there is no way they cannot alleviate poverty. Only what we need to do is to embrace the technology and to fight poverty. What we would need most is a desire to, as a number one, mindset. Someone to begin with a sense of believing that I think I need this. Then what you need next is an exposure. You come and visit the place where we are doing it. Like what you, the journalists, have done. Then another thing is definitely to acquire the source of the fund. Then the rest of these materials we can get for him or her. And entirely that. And you need to have a land. You need to have land, whether hired or bought. You can hire someone's land and you do hire purchase. You can rent it or hire it for a period of time. Then we do the technology there. Like this establishment here, which you see of the 30 by 60, you need 20 million for both the seed and everything to be put in place, which is able to fetch you 60 million in a period of 4 months. Then it has a lifespan of 25 years. And that's what it means. So it would mean that in 1 season, you can finish the whole initial costs of product of establishment. Then you begin making your own money. Come alone, of course, some youth have good backgrounds. And some have their own savings. You can come alone, acquire the skill, then you go and establish the project yourself. Actually, I don't embrace the issue of group work myself, though the government insists on it. But to me, I think it would be very vital, and it carries all your attention if it is your personal project. To me, I would actually love individual development, then create jobs for the rest. So the neighbors come every day because there are causes of coming here. We have maize meal, the millet meals, then we have the poultry. So people come here for different reasons. But for the reason of this in particular, they come to buy tomatoes every day. Others we give freely because they lack capacity to buy. It is their thing. They also enjoy the fruits. These small ones, we don't sell them. We give them to neighbors to eat. But whoever would want to join the project or start it, then I would be able to offer the service of training at a no cost. You know, the problem has always been the government planning for people. Not the people planning, then the government supporting their plans. But if it was to be the reverse of the act, where they would ask the people to write their proposals, then they let those people with a clear vision be funded to attract others to work, it would have served. You know, poverty begins in the head, and you cannot alleviate poverty from someone. It is the someone who struggles to get out of poverty. So if they would be looking for hustlers, they say, we have money here, we want to read your mind. What do you have? Then people write their interests or their visions. Then they support their visions. Then the problem would be solved. But this issue of saying we bring the 100 million to the parish, it is not different from that one which was of the parish, the village models. You heard of the village models. None of the village models is not poor after all those years and after all those things that were put there. But If they were to look at scientists and say, who is a scientist trying to develop something for the community, and they support us, we could create employment for very many people. we could. This one doesn't depend on whether it is raining or shining. It doesn't depend on that. The water, you must have a stable source of water, definitely, if you are to go greenhouse farming. And the water comes by either you carrying it or it comes by pumping. So the issue of climate change may not affect this science. If the government was in to intervene, one was to create, the thing of training farmers has now ceased. Where we had NADs, where people with knowledge would apply to go and train other farmers, now the government does not put in money. And you cannot do something successful unless you are trained how to do it. So since the training aspect is no longer an issue to government, then success stories in this challenging world where pests are very aggressive, diseases are very serious, and the counterfeit products are on market, flooding all the market, unless they go back to their drawing board and say, we now want people with knowledge to give to farmers be budgeted for also, I don't see much to come ahead. But if they would say, now, if you are able to do this, let us support you. And I start my training center here with these demonstrations, with the help of government, I think we can transform very many people. Only that I lack facilities of extending the knowledge I have to community. And of recent, since some of us at our level, we were eliminated from parish development mode because they graded us. They said if somebody has a vehicle or if he has a factory, then he's no longer a part of PDM. Then us people who would be pulling the poor ones, we were rejected and pushed outside the system. Now it is the blind pulling the blind. So we are not with them. They who would know where to put them, to pull them to our level, they just pushed us outside. Now, I don't know where the thing is going, but I don't use government money, but I would love to join the government system because I have a lot to offer, which would help our people. Let people get exposed. Kenyans are leaving us. I've been in Kenya for several times. I see how people are doing farming in Kenya, yet we have all one would call resources to use to make development. So if you happen to have this, to see this program, visit our farm. Visit our farm, we share. Then you see if you can do something also at your own farm. We are there and free to give you knowledge. The family, majorly, I have my wife. The children have studied and their area of profession differs from what we are doing. Some are medical practitioners and they are surgeons, and they cannot call a surgeon to come and grow tomatoes. Some are bankers, others are lawyers, and so they think they are doing what they need to do. And I don't fight it because each of us was created different. Yeah, our part was to nurture them, grow them, give them education, then let them practice their careers also. I don't force them in my area of profession.